Brief history of menopause. Going to quickly touch on that today. Just an impromptu live. I thought I'd do it this evening. A lot of people that we speak to don't actually know the effects of menopause, let alone the history. So I wanted to kind of come on and share this with you. So basically, the way with menopause, I turn that music off. I like that music. Right, I'm just double checking. I think we're live. Yeah, awesome. A couple of people on. Awesome. So menopause, right? It was generally first defined in only 1821, and it was by a French physician. Menopause generally had been sort of treated with everything from kind of opium, imagine that, to acupuncture, and then in 1942, Wyeth Pharmaceuticals introduced an estrogen pill that was called Premarin. That name was derived from its primary ingredient, which is pregnant mare urine. That's horrid, isn't it? And these sales kind of soared in the 70s, but then it was kind of linked to an increased risk of endometrial cancer. So like when that was however combined with a second hormone, progestin, estrogen treatment was deemed safe and effective, and then in 84 is backed by the National Institute of Health, saying that estrogen is the most effective means to prevent bone loss. And that hormone again became the drug of choice to help kind of ease people through menopause, hot flushes, night sweats, and a host of all other menopausal symptoms, joint ache and stuff like that. And what we found is by sort of the 90s, the American Heart Association and the American College of Physicians and the American College of obstetricians and gynecologists all agreed that estrogen is really effective. It's an effective shield against both osteoporosis and heart disease as you start to age. And then this kind of Premarin becomes the best-selling drug in the country, and generally it's kind of maintained its popularity, especially through kind of the end of that century. So with a lot, maybe a third of those prescriptions were written for women that were kind of post-menopause, all of them past peri. And my point, I suppose, is we as humans, we search for quick fixes. We search for instant fixes, and the problem is that suffering, you're in a state of suffering, whatever we're suffering, it does actually drive progress, right? The source of all of our suffering is a desire to change in state, desire from get out of pain. Hot flushes, they're absolutely horrendous. But the fact, you felt that you want to remove yourself from that state is actually something that is going to drive you to change. Hopefully enough that you actually action something yourself. Generally speaking, that should be the first thing. What can I do about this myself? Take responsibility. Because there is obviously a lot of there's HRT you can take, but it first comes down to your fundamentals, your lifestyle. A lot of I find it's wanting more from our lives that is that drives us to amazing things, right? It drives us to seek improvements in travel with when we're talking about moon tourism. It drives you to get out of pain in menopause. So we're talking about lifestyle, we're talking about HRT, we're talking about how can we get more support for menopausal women, right? It's without that sort of craving to want to do better, we're not satisfied. It's a lack of ambition. So generally we should always look at our individual actions. They reveal how badly you want something. If you keep saying something is a priority but you never act on it. Imagine you want to lose 10 kilos, all right? You want to lose a stone and a half. If you keep saying that is a priority but you never act on it, then what does that mean? Does that mean you don't want it? I'd like to hear in the comments what do you think it means, right? Generally we speak to myself and Viola in our support group, speak to at least 50 to 100 people a week, all right? Some of them on the phone, some of them mostly messenger as well. And it's really important to change. Yeah, it's 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely want to change. And then they don't follow through on their words of wanting to change. So the challenge I pose to you is have an honest conversation with yourself, because your actions reveal your true motivations. You know, there is reward is on the other side of sacrifice. So you have a response, which is a sacrifice of energy, your response to not feeling well, like, I'm sick of this, I'm going for a walk. You have that sacrifice of energy, you sacrifice, and then that response always precedes the reward, the collection of resources. So it could be, you get that endorphin hit only after you've done the walk, only after you've done the workout. The reward only comes after the energy is spent. So that's something you don't get those endorphin rushes by not putting in the work, and self-control is very difficult because it isn't satisfying. The thing, hey Juliet, hey, a reward is an outcome. James Clear once said this: a reward is an outcome that satisfies your cravings, and this makes self-control ineffective because inhibiting our desires does not actually resolve them. Resisting temptation does not satisfy the craving; it just ignores it, and then it creates a space for that craving to pass. So, what self control does is it requires you to release a desire rather than to satisfy it. And so often we think we need to satisfy all our cravings. We need to, "Oh, our craving is telling me something, so I need to have this piece of chocolate every single day." Um, no, it's not as, especially if your quest is weight loss, then it's not the primary focus, right? The primary focus should be um not satisfying that craving, but putting future you first, putting the version of yourself that you want. What would, in this instance, what would the version of me, you know that's 10 kilos lighter, want to see in this? Like, what would they eat in this moment? If you're asking yourself the question and you want to go on a walk, what would the version of myself do that I want to be? Would it be, would the version of myself be snacking, watching Netflix with chocolate in the mouth? If let's say your goal is to improve your fitness or to lose weight, would that version of yourself be that? Probably not. What would the version of yourself be? Would the version of yourself, if you haven't gone on your walk and you haven't got the required steps that you wanted to get this way, would the version of yourself go, all right, cool, I'm going. Yeah, put my trainers on, let's go. Let's put a podcast on, let's put a music on, go and talk to my friends while I'm on a walk, go with a friend while I'm on a walk. What would that version of yourself in all these instances do? There's nothing wrong. We obviously preach nothing wrong with chocolate or anything like that, but it's, does the chocolate come at the expense of other things? Does it come at the expense of, if it's every day, is it coming at the expense of a weigh-in on Monday? Is it coming at the expense of energy? Do you have, like, a whole bar of Cadbury and then feel poor, like feel let's say, tired? Hey Beverly, this is a thing. Like, we make, in my opinion, you make the sacrifice first, you get the reward later on. It's that famous marshmallow effect, an experiment that was done in the 70s. You can have one marshmallow right now and you can satisfy that craving. Or if you wait an hour or so until I come back, I'll leave them in the room, and then I come back in an hour, you'll get two marshmallows. Paula says, when you put it like that, yeah, making me look at my decisions. Thanks. That's brilliant. Because we do that. We do, like, we rationalize all of our choices, and we'll make decisions throughout the day. I can't remember how many decisions we make throughout the day, really micro decisions, about 3,000 maybe, a plethora of decisions. You have to, depending on what your goal is, if it is weight loss, is really simple to talk about, right? So if your goal is to lose 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, it doesn't matter, and you go, I just want to be this version, I want to be 30 kilos light, I want to have confidence, fantastic. This is a really good start. This is your North Star. What does this person, future you, ideal you, Wonder Woman you, What does she do in this instance? You know, is she sitting there on the sofa having a glass of wine? Maybe on a Saturday, but maybe she's not doing that every day. So I suppose I'm challenging you this evening, to look at your actions. Of course, you're more than willing to ignore what I'm saying, but if you are wanting to lose weight and you are having actions that aren't serving the you that you want to become, then have an honest conversation with yourself. Have an honest conversation with yourself. I thought I'd just quickly jump on and do this. I do appreciate people watching. Thank you so much. As I say, inside of our free support group, we do have weekly live streams. They go on a bit longer than this, but I just thought I'd jump on and connect with you and talk to you about, are your actions matching the goals that you're setting for yourself? Have a fantastic Thursday. And if you're in Australia, it's probably closing in on Friday morning. But enjoy the rest of your week and go after it. All right. I don't think there's any questions. Don't think there would be. Thanks. I'll write this down to remind me. I love this. Like when you see people like Paula, when you see, like you're taking action. I love that. Not only taking action, taking notes. Beverly says hi. And Juliet Ward gives a little thumbs up. It won't let me do that one. It won't let me pop that up on screen. But I love it. I love it. Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will speak to you soon. We are out. Hey, Nina. Nina tunes in late. If you've caught this live, hit 5. If you're watching on replay, hit 8. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.